Thanks for listening to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast. I'm Kayla,
And I'm Emily.
and we're passionate about holistic wellness that real people with real lives can achieve.
We see you out there striving for perfection, but we want you to know that good enough can be good enough.
Before we get started, everything we talk about in this show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Always talk to your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, lifestyle, medication, or supplements. You're listening to episode 39, Meals on Repeat right now. In this episode, we are each going to share 3 meals that we have been repeating lately and why we love them so much.
So, Kayla, what have you been nerding out on this week? Oh, no.
So, I teased it a little bit. I'm working on a birth control free training, and I've just been learning so much about birth control.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not going to go super deep into it because I'm putting together a whole training and I really want you to come and see the whole thing. But one little fact that I'd like to just drop here and let you marinate on it a little bit is that birth control, hormonal birth control specifically, changes who we are attracted to and who is attracted to us. Now you know why I sighed.
Yeah. You're about to just walk away from an explosion,
Yep.
aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
Emily, what about you?
Okay. All right. I'm fine.
See how it is?
It's fine. Everything's fine. No, I've been nerding out on unstructured play and specifically an Instagram post from Steve Magnus. And if you bear with me, I'm actually just going to go ahead and read through it. It's one of those posts that's literally just words that goes through slides.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and read it because I was trying to narrow it down, but every slide was just as good as the last and it all kind of comes to a culmination. So I would like to just go ahead and read through it. So bear with me. And I would just like to say I'm actually not familiar with him or any of his other work, but this is gold right here. So it says, Fortnite is the new Sandlot. Kids have retreated to video games because it's the one place where adults can't interfere, control, or critique. And it's the one place where they can find autonomy and connection. That used to be sports, but adults ruined it. Bring back play. And that alone, that by itself could be like a banger right there, but it goes on. Research shows that kids don't play outside anymore. One survey found a decrease from 80% of kids in my parents' generation playing outside to just 27% today. Yes, phones and increase in traffic and similar factors have been an impact. But research also points to another culprit, safetyism. An increase in parents' protectiveness due to fear and a high need for control has led to a decline in unstructured free play. When we need to control and monitor everything, we take unstructured and make it over-organized. We replace pickup games with leagues, natural play in the yard or local parks with structured and rule-bound activities, driven by adult egos and desires. In school, we increasingly limit anything that is deemed as not productive. Bye-bye recess, see you later PE, and music. And it's backfiring. We have a physical and mental health crisis. In a 2023 paper published in the Journal of Pediatrics, researchers argued that, and this is quote, a primary cause of the rise in mental disorders in youth is a decline over decades in opportunities for children and teens to play, roam, and engage in other activities, independent of direct oversight and control by adults. Play frees us up. It helps us learn who we are in an environment where we can fail and screw up. Kids play kickball at recess, even if they're terrible, because there's no mom, dad, or coach out there to critique. Play provides a space and environment to explore, mess up, and connect, without fear of failure taking over. According to psychologist Peter Gray, play functions to teach us to 1. Develop intrinsically driven interests, 2. Learn about rules and problem solving, 3. Regulate our emotions, 4. Navigate relationships and make friends, 5. Experience joy. The National Institute for Play, which first of all, I didn't know that was a thing, but that's very cool.
Yeah.
Defines play as, quote, something done for its own sake. It's voluntary. It's pleasurable. It offers a sense of engagement. It takes you out of time. And the act itself is more important than the outcome. It's not just kids who need unstructured play. It's us as adults. We need our own version of a Sandlot. In a world where we are constantly judged, we need activities where it doesn't matter if we are. We've convinced ourselves that everything we do has to have a productive outcome. Kids play sports to get the scholarship. Adults pursue passions to make money. We exercise to increase our fitness score. We've turned going for a walk with our dog, taking a nap, or eating breakfast into something we do to get a better score on our activity tracker. The cult of optimization and productivity has converted living life into a job scored by an external measure. Whether it's kids and youth sports or adults and the cult of optimization, we need more recess. We need meaningful activities without a specific aim. Look at our hobbies. We've increasingly shifted towards observing pastimes instead of participating. We watch sports instead of play them. We need to take time to do things with little point besides joy. It will remind you how to get back into exploration mode where you can be oblivious, free from the harsh comparison points that influence so much of our lives. Bring back play for all of us. Our kids desperately need it, but so do us adults. We need more activities where the point is to explore and enjoy, not achieve an outcome. So that's incredibly lengthy, and I'm sorry for that, but I don't think I have much more to add.
That's really good.
It's so good. And
yeah.
I've been mulling this over. I love how, because I thought I was going to read a few slides and then be like, actually, this is important for adults too, but that's literally where he was going with it. Yeah. I think we talk a lot, especially the wellness circles are getting so much better about talking about how important this is for kids and how much kids need it, because they're developing and growing, but I'm realizing how much adults need it very badly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I really have a conclusion yet other than what's already been stated, and I'm definitely mulling this over, and I think you should too, especially as we get into summer and like notorious play, whether, maybe it's time to act like a kid a little bit and go play in a creek just because, and not because you're trying to, make your Fitbit happy and all of those things. So I thought that was going to end like, oh, I'm so excited, but it kind of ended a little somber.
Hey there, Goopers. Yeah, Goopers. You guys who listen to the Good Enough Wellness podcast, that's your name now. Get used to it. Are you craving a healthier, more balanced life, but you're not sure where to start? Or maybe you've tried all the tips and tricks that seem impossible to keep up with because, well, you've got a real life. Sound familiar? Here's some good news. We've got something just for you. Our free Patreon community is all about holistic wellness that works for real people just like you. Whether you're juggling a busy schedule, navigating health challenges, or just curious about improving your digestion, sleep, or energy levels, we're here to help you thrive without the overwhelm. Inside, you'll find show notes, downloads, worksheets, and exclusive recordings to help you get started. Plus, it's not just about advice, it's about connection. You'll join a supportive group of people on the same journey, cheering each other on and sharing ideas that actually work. The best part? It's totally free to join. So why not take the first step today? Head over to patreon.com/goodenoughwellnesspodcast and join the community where wellness meets real life. Let's grow together. You've got this.
We're going to talk about maybe not our absolute favorite meals, but the things that we've been making a lot of lately. And I think this changes a lot with time and seasons. And it's fun to me to go back to like, I have notes from, 10 years ago, meal planning, be like, can you believe like the things we used to eat or like the things that we're eating a lot of, like maybe not like outrageous, but just it's funny how like even our food choices kind of go in these cycles and obsessions and stuff. So we each picked out 3 meals, which we're going to talk about, but I think you want to talk a little bit about meal planning and your whole meal planning philosophy. And then after you do that, I'm going to say my 2 cents on that. And then we're going to go into our meals.
Okay. So I just wanted to share a little bit about like my meal planning philosophy. So Emily at first introduced all of us in our group chat to her 6-week meal plan. She said, I've been meal planning by 6 weeks and it has been revolutionizing my meal plans. It's been making my life so easy. And we were like, we're doing it because we're all busy people. Most of us are moms and we're like anything to make our lives better.
Yes.
So I was like, I'm going to do a 6-week meal plan too. And I did that for a couple like sections, chunks.
Rotations.
And I was like, I love this. And then I was like, I have an idea. I'm going to actually break it into like 12-ish week portions and go by season. So I'm going to have a winter meal plan, summer, spring, fall, the seasons. And then from there, I'm going to break it down even further and I'm going to have 2 lists within each of those seasons of nourish meals and energy meals. You might be thinking, where are you going with this? I've been dabbling in like lunar living, like living with the cycles of the moon, and like, which also happens to coincide a lot with like hormonal cycles. And as someone who wants to get like periods regular and things like that, it was like super important to me to have like cycles charted out with my meals. And so nourish meals are meals that I tend to gravitate toward when I am in the full moon to new moon phase, which should align with the ovulation to menstruation phase, so the luteal phase of your menstrual cycle. And then my energy meals are new moon to full moon cycle, which would be the like menstruation to ovulation phase, which is the follicular phase. Usually estrogen is high during follicular phase, which gives you lots of energy. Progesterone is high during nourish phase, the luteal phase, and that's when like you're more inward and you're more like nourishing a potential baby. So I've broken things down into 4 seasons, and then in each season 2 different lists, nourish or energy, based on the moon cycles. And this, like, I talked a little bit about my clothes in a past episode.
I was just thinking about that. I was like, this sounds familiar.
How I have been rotating my clothes out based on season. And one of the points of doing that is like I wear clothes more because like they're the only 3 things I have. And it helps me get tired of them and ready for the next set of clothes. Same kind of goes with the meals. Like, I'm kind of getting tired of these meals and I'm ready for the next set of meals. Mm. Now, I'm not like super dogmatic. I'm not like, no, we are never going to eat this spring food in winter.
Yes.
But like, it kind of helps me focus on the foods that are in season and going to be most aligned with how we probably would have lived hundreds of years ago.
Sure.
And yeah, that's another point is like, it's hard to eat seasonally when you have a grocery store that offers the same foods all year round.
Yeah.
And this kind of like helps me focus in on what's actually seasonal to my area.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like my philosophy. Do you have anything
really cool.
to
Yeah,
share?
So I think it's so funny that you like called me out as being the one who started this 6-week meal plan, because I do love that and I do utilize it. But about 3 weeks ago, I finished my last like 6 weeks and I've just
ditched it.
Well,
see how you are.
I've been having a time, man. It's this like end of school year.
Yeah.
It's just, there's a lot of things happening at once. We have a lot of like end of the year appointments going. It's just been a lot kind of in general. And it's kind of like all hands on deck right now as far as mom's sanity goes. So literally for the last 3 weeks, what I've been doing, so I grocery shop on Fridays. So about Thursday, I stand on my whiteboard and I say, what do you guys want to eat next week? There's 7 people in my family. The baby doesn't have a voiced opinion. Everybody else picks a meal and there's my meal plan.
Hey, that sounds...
It's been fantastic.
If I could get people to write mine, I would do it.
Right. And my family, like, because we've always like eaten all kinds of food. So we've like not, try to kind of been neutral morality on food. So like they have actually a very good palate and like, they always, it's not like we're just having, well, unless you ask my 5-year-old, then it's sketty and eat balls every week. But like we've had salmon a couple times, we've had shrimp, we've had, it's just a very good variety.
Yeah.
So like that's been working for the last 3 weeks, and I'm probably going to ride that out until either we get too busy to care or, when it gets really hot and I'm like, nope, these are the things we can make and we can't turn on the oven.
Yeah.
It'll probably be a little bit more my choice, and I'll have more time then, a little more brain space to be able to do that. But I think all that to say, like, it doesn't matter how you meal plan if you just meal plan.
Right.
Like, there's no one right way. And obviously
All
there's
philosophies are equal.
there's no one right way for your family either. So like, just because you had it all figured out and you were doing these 6-week meal plans and then you kind of shifted, it's not because that didn't work or it was bad. It was just like, time for something different.
Yep.
And I will say, mealtime has been like, you know how many times I get like, oh, what's for dinner? Yes. Like everybody's so excited.
Yeah, because they chose it.
They chose it. And even the one thing that my one child, who's notoriously my picky eater, is just like, I hate that. It's terrible. Like, he's like, I really like this now. I'm like, okay.
Of course you do.
I'm happy, but I'm a little
I have some feelings.
I'm a little perturbed, but hey, that's great. I'm glad we're on the same page now. So yeah, I guess let's get into like our meals that are on repeat right now. We're kind of towards the end of our cold weather. We've had a few warm days in there that we've been basking in. So this is probably the end of the like warm comfort meals that you're going to see on our meal plans. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll have to put on Instagram like in the middle of summer what we're eating to like stay cool and sane. But do you want to go first? You want to just like go down through your list and tell us a little bit about them?
Just do like every other.
Yeah, we can
like
do
I'll
that.
do one, you do one.
That sounds good.
Okay. So my first one is spaghetti with First Hello sauce and organs. I talked about the First Hello sauce when we talked about cookbooks.
From the Cook's Book.
Yes, it comes from the Cook's Book by Brie McCoy, and it's pretty much the only spaghetti sauce I'll use. Occasionally I'll pick up a jar if I'm like in a pinch, but this is my favorite one, and I use my home canned tomatoes. Instead of like, I think she calls for like a can of crushed tomatoes. I just use my home canned tomatoes in place. And so this is one that's on repeat because my husband asks for spaghetti every single week. And I have always been like, spaghetti again. But since making the First Hello sauce, because I really love the sauce, and I add organs to the ground beef now. So I have done the pureed beef liver. That's worked for me in the past. But we just did freeze-dried beef organs, and we just left it in jars. That way we can add it.
So how much beef do you use? And then like how much, are we talking a tablespoon? Or like how much are we talking? Ballpark?
I used 2 pounds of ground beef, and I did not measure the freeze-dried.
How are you going to tell the people?
How
are you going to tell me?
Shook some in, and I was like, hopefully that works. It was probably between a tablespoon and 2 tablespoons, if I had to guess.
Yeah, of the freeze-dried organ blend.
Yes.
And then it just blends right in.
Yeah. It's just like adding salt or whatever.
Does
it just
it
kind of like melts right in.
I haven't used it yet. You can tell because I have questions about it that I could just go home and try it. And does it soak up moisture? Like, do you feel like it made anything drier? Because it's freeze-dried.
No.
I was just wondering if it would like reconstitute. It
didn't
seem
make
to,
anything
or at least
drier.
not enough.
Honestly, this past time that I made it, it somehow turned out really soupy.
Oh,
And I'm like, I don't know what I did to it.
interesting.
So, like, followed the same recipe that I've done for forever.
Wild.
Yeah. So,
Food is funny.
and then for me, like, if we do spaghetti, my favorite spaghetti is baked spaghetti that my mom does.
Yeah.
And so, like, to kind of make it more like that, whenever I dish up my dish of spaghetti, I add mozzarella cheese and pepperoni because it gives it that baked spaghetti vibe, and I love it.
Matt loves that too, but we don't know what leftover spaghetti is anymore.
Yeah. We usually don't have enough. Sometimes I'll make spaghetti specifically for baked spaghetti, but I haven't done that in a really long time, so I've just been adding a little bit of mozzarella cheese and pepperoni, and that's my version of baked spaghetti.
So good.
So Emily, what's your first?
Okay, so we have tacos or some form of tacos. Week in, week out. Spring, summer, fall, winter. And this is a little tidbit about me is I don't like tacos. Everybody thinks I do because I know how to make a lot. I make a lot of tacos and I make them all kinds of different ways. But I make them because they are always a hit at my house. Nobody complains. My husband is happy. All the kids are happy. And you know what? That's good enough for me. I don't need to love everything.
Right.
So, generally speaking, what I'll do is I'll do some taco meat with organs. And so far I've done like my own pureed, like liver, heart, that sort of thing. But I'm excited to try the freeze dried because I think it's just going to be simpler because like I got to remember to thaw my it's a whole thing. You guys know. You got to remember to thaw the things.
I never thaw my pureed beef liver.
Really?
I'll be honest, yeah.
Huh.
It's a couple times you've said I have to remember to thaw it, and I was
Well,
like, I've
I think
never
'cause
thawed
you
it.
have little chunks of it and I have like a sandwich bag of it. So maybe that
Oh,
makes a
maybe.
difference too.
Yeah.
Because I'm always afraid that it's going to cook weird or like I want it to be really mixed in and not like chunks of it.
Because it's pureed, it just like as it melts, it kind of distributes.
Well, maybe I'll try that next time. If I ruin it though, I'm coming back for you.
I'm sorry.
But and let's see, lost my train of thought. Sometimes we do like cilantro lime rice. Sometimes we do like pinto beans. Sometimes we do cheap tortillas from Walmart. Sometimes we do fries, though we're not doing extra like seed oil. Sometimes we do just chips from Aldi. We do it always. Any kind of jarred salsa. Sometimes I make a fresh pico. Sometimes I make a corn salsa. Sometimes like it just depends. One thing it will always have is a lot of cilantro in something. That's like my criteria for it being edible. But I make it all kinds of ways. Sometimes we use a tongue and we like cook it till it falls apart and then you like fry it up. That's really good. Yeah, that tacos, week in, week out. Tacos, nachos, burritos, quesadillas. I think my favorite way as somebody who's not a big like white people taco person is doing it over fries. I think that's the best. It's kind of like this like loaded taco fry type situation. Yeah, so tacos all the time.
I almost put tacos on my list because they're usually on repeat pretty heavy, but I
Yeah.
figured they were going to be on your list, and I was like, I better find something else.
You know me well. It's Taco Tuesday at our house.
Yes.
Every Tuesday. So I guess that brings me back to you with your second one.
Yes, so my second one is hamburger gravy and mashed potatoes, which is my comfort meal.
Mm-hmm.
If ever I'm in a pinch and I didn't plan enough meals for the week or something, I'm just like, we're having hamburger gravy and mashed potatoes because I love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, and uses ground beef.
Have you ever put organs in that? Does it have enough flavor to like?
I can't remember if I have or not. I may have.
I'd be curious, especially with the freeze
I
dried.
was going to say the freeze dried, I think I could definitely get away with it because they're not
You feel like
as
there's
strong.
less flavor to that.
Yeah,
That's
I do think it's
awesome.
less flavorful. It doesn't have a smell even when you open the jar.
Which I fully expected it to.
I love when we keep coming around to these organs.
I
Every
know.
single meal.
We're gonna sell so many. We should get a sponsor of like a freeze dryer. We don't even have a
Right,
freeze dryer,
yeah.
guys. We have a friend whose parent has a freeze dryer.
Right.
Choose your friends wisely.
Yes. So hamburger gravy is like brutally simple to make.
You probably don't even have a recipe. I know, like when
Yeah,
I make
that
like a
sounds like-
sausage gravy,
do I
it's all
even
by
need
feel.
to tell people how to make this, or are they gonna know?
I don't know. I think hamburger gravy is a little less common than a sausage gravy too.
It's pretty much the same thing. So you brown up your ground beef. I like to do onion and garlic powder rather than like actual
Right.
the whole
Like chopped up.
chopped up ones. And then throw some butter in there, some flour, kind of like make a roux. I don't even bother to take the ground beef out of the pan.
Yeah,
I know
no.
some people will. I don't bother. I just throw the butter and the flour in there with it.
Yep.
Stir it up, and then add some milk
Until
it
it's a
gets,
gravy.
Yeah, until it gets to gravy. If you don't want to do all milk, I've done like a little bit of beef broth or even chicken broth.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people prefer a less milky gravy, which is
Sure.
fine.
Which is
I
great. You can
usually
use some
don't.
bone
I
broth,
have-
which is great.
I have milk on tap, so like, I don't need to
from
worry.
cows, not from herself.
Not from myself. That would be weird.
Crunchy podcaster. You have to clarify.
Yeah. So
Why?
that's how I make my hamburger gravy, and then mashed potatoes. I usually use my Instant Pot, but
Yeah.
however you want to make mashed potatoes is fine by me. And then usually,
No rules.
I used to be like super judgy about instant mashed potatoes, but I've since pulled back on that because
I
I-
used to be judgy about those too, but you know what? I grew up with those, and there's just something about that. I don't know if it's the
Yeah.
nostalgia. They're actually super delicious.
yeah.
Also,
Well, I always
Unless
like worried
they-
about the ingredients.
right, which I think could be a concern, but like
depending
In
on the ones you
theory,
get.
There should just be freeze-dried potato flakes.
Yes. And then I like at one point I was like, I'm going to look because like people are like talking about these. If you listen to our last episode, here's another thing.
Yeah. Don't get
that I
judgy about
was judgy
potatoes.
about. And I was like, oh, they're literally just potatoes.
It's just freeze-dried potatoes.
Yeah, I was like, why am I being so judgmental
This
about
is a really good example of sometimes you fear something you don't understand.
Yep.
So like,
That was exactly it.
yeah.
So, and then a lot of times I have, to round the meal out, a lot of times I have just like a bag of frozen green beans in my freezer, and we like green beans with it. I've also done peas and corn, peas, like just whatever frozen vegetable I have usually helps round it out.
Yep. Delicious. All good?
Yep.
Yep. So my second meal that we've been having probably about every other week this whole year really is we have a meal called Korean beef. And I make it with ground beef because that's what I have lots of. My freezer's full of it. And it's like just ground beef with like some Korean Asian flavors. I'm sure is not authentic, but it is delicious. And then I serve it over if I'm smart and on top of things, it's like a soaked rice, but sometimes it's just not a soaked rice and that's okay too.
Yeah.
So I'll do like a cilantro lime rice. And I serve it with like a carrot salad, like just a really simple shredded carrot, rice wine vinegar, salt, and then Ajisuki Tamago, which is just their ramen eggs. They're like a marinated ramen eggs. I think I've talked about them before because I love them so much. Very delicious, and green onion, and it's a hit with everybody. Everybody loves it. I often have leftovers, which is like amazing for my house. Yeah, we eat that a lot actually.
For some reason, I'm picturing it with like a good like sesame seed sprinkle.
You could definitely do that. I don't usually, but you definitely could.
I have a jar of that, and I love using it on like ramen bowls and stuff.
We like even my kids like it like drizzled with sriracha. So good.
I'm gonna have to do that. I have never done like a Korean beef bowl of any kind.
It's very
and
good.
I really should.
So the one that we make is a little on the sweeter side. I really love sweet and spicy like Asian food. I know sweet isn't for everybody with their dinners, so there is another one that we've made that's just called like Asian bowls or something, and I'll have to send you that recipe because it's not sweet at all.
I think a couple of my cookbooks have like versions of it, and that would just give me a good launch point.
So good.
So my last one is cheeseburger pie, and this comes from Cook Once Dinner Fix by Cassie Joy Garcia. This is
You have all ground beef meals.
I do. I actually realized that afterward, and I was like, you can really see the effort I've put in to making sure I use up our ground beef, because if anyone's had a cow butchered, you know how much ground beef they give you.
Well, and I love this because even if you're having to go to the store and buy ground beef, which is fine, guys, calm down. Like that's what's going to be affordable to you. So I love that these are all very like accessible.
And I love ground beef. Like,
I do too.
I keep picking meals that have ground beef, but like a lot of it was because I forced myself when we first got the cow back. I was like, I'm going to have to be really intentional about making sure I do at least one, if not two meals with ground beef per week. So that way I don't like just eat all the roasts. And then at the end, when we need more roasts, I'm like, well, I still have 50 pounds of ground beef. That's
kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And we've done that before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we're not doing that again.
Yes.
And I mean, you can really tell.
Yeah.
And
good for you.
I love it. Like, I have no complaints about ground beef.
And it's so easy. Like, it's the most accessible thing. When you're learning how to cook, you can't overcook it.
With ground beef, too, like, if you forget to thaw it, you can usually still cook it even though it's frozen.
You're not supposed to, but we do.
Yeah. It's, like, really forgiving that way. I would never do that with a chicken breast, but I can definitely do it with ground beef.
That's true.
So it's, like, it's just super forgiving meat, too. So, anyways, cheeseburger pie from Cook Once Dinner Fix. It's not a huge favorite with some of the people in my house, but enough of the people in my house that I keep doing it.
Yes.
And this one, Emily was like, is it the one that like you put in a pie shell? And I was like, no, actually this one is like the base is French fries, like frozen French fries that you thaw.
Have you ever done tater tots?
I actually haven't, but I should.
You should.
Sounds really good. I'm afraid they'd get mushy.
I mean,
because sometimes the fries get mushy too, and that.
True.
But because then it's like just like mashed potatoes, which is kind of weird. I don't know why, but anyway, so it's French fries on the bottom, and then ground beef that's seasoned with like ketchup, mustard, that kind of stuff on top, and then you put cheese and bacon and jalapenos, and you bake it all together, and it is amazing.
That sounds like good comfort
It's
food.
so good.
Yeah, so my third one that we've been eating, this is one that I'm like, what do you guys want to eat? This is on their list. Somebody says it, and sometimes I'd be like, we just ate that. We need to wait a week. And this is sausage and sauerkraut over mashed potatoes, or what I would call how good enough comfort meals can keep you cooking at home and keep your family happy. So this is not farm fresh sausage. This is kielbasa from Aldi. I buy the pork and beef one. I don't know what all's in it. Can't promise you it's additive free, but it is delicious and it's affordable. And this is not something we're eating every day or even every week, but this is something that like, this is a huge comfort meal at our house. And it makes everybody wildly happy and bellies are full. And sometimes that's the most important thing. It's okay if it's not organic, grass-fed kielbasa. It's good. It's delicious and it's easy. It's something that I can throw together pretty quickly. My kids are obsessed with peas and corn right now, which okay.
I love peas and corn too.
It's actually so good together. And I was like, why don't I do this more often? So I'll serve it with that. The leftovers get fought over the next day if there are leftovers. And I don't know, highly recommend finding comfort meals that are easy for you to make, that, you know, don't get so caught up in your own standards that you forget that other things exist, I guess.
Yeah. I think I'm going to put this on my meal plan for this
So
week.
good.
Because I freaking love sausage, sauerkraut, mashed potatoes. Sometimes I do pork chops.
Yeah.
I love it so
There's-
much, and I don't do enough of it.
There's certain things recently that we realized that I'm just like, why are we like, oh, we can have this when it's not New Year's. We can have this when it's like, why do we feel like we have to wait for like Oktoberfest to eat this?
Kick a couple years ago where I was doing like almost every week sausage, sauerkraut, and mashed potatoes, and I think I burnt us all out on it,
Yeah.
and then I just haven't really revisited it.
Yeah. And as far as mashed potatoes go, I've been experimenting recently with using, don't come at me. Calm down. Everybody just calm down. We're going to be real
Are
cool.
you going to say instant mashed
We're
potatoes?
gonna be real cool about this for a second. But I've been experimenting with using cottage cheese in them.
Oh.
And I just want to say I love cottage cheese. I'm not a like, oh, I gotta try to put it in there. Like I'm looking for a little better macros, but it's really just I like cottage cheese and I always have it, and it's fairly inexpensive compared to say cream and butter.
Right.
So I'm experimenting with doing like some butter and then cottage cheese. I like it. I think it's very good. I'm not going to tell you it's exactly the same. I'm going to say I like the flavor. So I think you should really try it. It's like making them a little cheesy, honestly.
Oh.
I think it's good. And it's nice to add a little, especially with something like kielbasa. It's more,
Which is already kind of fatty.
it's more, right. It is more fatty than protein, I would say. So it's nice to give like a protein boost somewhere
It's a good
else.
thought.
And then a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm making this fatty kielbasa with sauerkraut. That's a really big flavor. And then I'm making these really decadent mashed potatoes. And it was just like, this is like,
Very heavy.
this is a lot. This is too much. So I was kind of looking for like kind of this, I hate to even use this word, but this kind of like lightened mashed potato, not for this,
right. Yeah.
to help balance out the
flavor
palate and the
profile.
flavors. And it has worked really well. Everybody likes them except one kid who was just like, these are not the same. And I was like, you are correct. They're not the same, but they're still delicious. So
He would say that about anything.
it's not who you think it is.
Oh, it isn't?
It's not.
Interesting.
Yes. So I think it's good to try new things and just experiment. And can I just say that I think it is better as someone who's married to and gave birth to creatures of habit.
Yeah.
It is better to go up front and say, I did something a little bit different. I want to know what you think about it than it is to be like, maybe they won't notice. Like,
Right.
because something I've learned is that my husband is so sweet that he could hate something and be like, he will still eat it and he won't say a
Right.
word. And I love that about him, but I have to actually get feedback and be like, did you like that? Like,
Yeah. Sometimes after Garrett has eaten, I'm like, so what'd you think of that? He'd be like, what'd you do to it? Like, I didn't do anything.
yeah, no, I like to be.
I didn't do anything real weird to it.
I just wanted. I did it a little bit different. I want to know if you
Yeah, I
like it
wanna-
better
yeah.
or worse, the same. Yeah. I do this with like tinctures too with my kids, as I don't tell them like, oh, it's not the biggest. I'm just like, here's some yucky stuff for you to take. It's gonna taste weird.
I know you're not gonna like it.
It's gonna taste yucky, and they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to put one over on you.
Right. Talk you out of
Yeah, we
it.
low key, especially with our 5-year-old, we have kind of like, I don't even want to call it a 1 bite rule, but I always like put things on her plate that I know that she doesn't like. And she's like, I don't like that. I was like, I know, but it's good to try things again. And we have had success with that, with her being like, oh, I really like those now.
Yep.
And we went through a phase. She is fire, but she went through a big like, I hate that phase. And I was just like, whoa there, girlfriend, like calm down. So I taught her to say, I do not prefer that. So she's feeling fire, and she goes, I do not prefer that, Mama.
I love it.
It's my favorite thing. Anyways.
Do you want to do like a bonus here at the end, like something new we've tried recently that's not on repeat? That was just like a new random thing.
I don't know if my brain's going to work to do that.
I have one. So
Go
I'll
ahead,
go.
you
And
go,
then if
and
you
if I
have
think of
one, that's
one-
fine. But if
I'm not doing a lot of creative things these days.
right. So I tried doing Chipotle copycat barbacoa beef.
That sounds awesome.
And then I just did it over rice. And I didn't do anything special to the rice. It was just regular old rice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I served it with corn and black bean salsa, which also has like peppers in it. And it's kind of like
So good.
limey kind of stuff. And then I did pepper jack cheese with it.
Oh, interesting. What a choice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've just been craving spicy lately. So I did pepper jack cheese. I offered guacamole, sour cream, but I didn't have either of those. I was like, I think that would be too much. I'm trying to think.
No.
No, like
such
some
thing.
people would love that, and I think Garrett did, but I'm like, just for me, my taste. So yeah, the barbacoa beef was amazing, and it was a
Sounds
way to use up my roast that wasn't like a pot roast.
Yes.
So
Yeah. So I haven't made anything new or interesting really. I've been surviving, guys. We're
Right.
just surviving, and that's okay. Surviving is better than not surviving. So, but we snuck out on a date the other day. Shout out to Ashlyn, who had her kids plus her brother plus all 5 of my kids and didn't bat an eye. So I love you.
she said she loved it.
I'm going to take her word and drop them off again sometime.
Right.
But we went to this place that everybody's been talking about that I'm not going to remember the name of. Bromans. Yes. Sandwiches.
Not sandwiches.
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 Yes. And I got, tell me if I'm pronouncing this correctly, birria.
Berea is how I've always pronounced it, but I don't know that
Tacos?
I'm right.
However, I don't know. I had never had them before, and I was like a little nervous that they'd be like white people taco flavor profile, which I've already said it's not my fave. And our friend Ashlyn was like, no, you got to try them. They're the best. They are. They're delicious. They're like hearty and just like, I couldn't even quite pinpoint all of the spices that were in them, but I was just like, I can make this. So
Yeah.
someday when I'm out of ground beef and have roast again, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
So good.
That's awesome.
It's fun to try new things.
It is. And tell us if you try any of these meals, or tell us what meals are on repeat for you.
Yeah, let us know,
Like,
because
we
we
love
need,
talking about food.
we do. We could
Really
probably
do.
We could probably just have a food podcast.
Yeah. Be really good.
So good.
What if I told you the little pill you were prescribed could be hiding a dark secret? Hormonal birth control is marketed as safe and convenient, but the truth? The risks are far greater than most women are told. From blood clots to mood swings, nutrient depletion to long-term fertility struggles, it's time to uncover the birth control cover-up. Join me on May 6th, 2025 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a free true crime-inspired training where we expose the hidden dangers, the industry cover-ups, and the safer alternatives your doctor won't tell you about. And if you can't make it live, don't worry. The replay plus an exclusive bonus guide will be sent directly to your inbox as long as you're registered for the event. Register now for birth control on trial at the link in the show notes before the evidence disappears.
So Kayla, what's good this week?
So this week I happened to randomly have a half day scheduled at work, and it was supposed to be 70 degrees out, and so I went over to our friend's Ashlyn's house and just
What a star.
yeah, she is too. We spent like almost the whole afternoon together. Her husband was out of town, and she needed somebody to talk to.
Yes.
She is a girl of many words, and she loves spending time with people. So I went over and we spent a lot of time. We sat out on her deck and just talked. We went to Hobby Lobby together
Dang.
because I was gifted these wooden roses that I just didn't know what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I do not know what to do. And then I had this brilliant idea that I was going to make a wreath with them. But I am one of the least creative, like crafty people on the face of the planet. And she like has more of a gift for that. Her mom is super good at it. So she kind of like has some of that knowledge. And so I was like, can you help me with this? And so we went to Hobby Lobby and like picked out all the stuff to go with it. And we put this wreath together and we had so much fun. The entire time we were like, wow, this is so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time. And it's always just good to spend time. And we did something like fun together instead of just talk, which is also fun. But the
Actually,
craft
an
really
activity.
like put it over the edge for me.
That's just peak.
Yes. So that
How
was
fun.
good.
I love
How
that.
about you, Emily?
So we got on a date, as I mentioned, which we hardly go out. It's hard to find time. It's hard to find money. It's hard to find sitters that line up with your time. It's a whole thing. And I feel like a lot of people can relate. But we had, and a lot of times when we do get out, I think our last date was Valentine's Day. So
A month ago.
And I was surprised we did get out for Valentine's Day, but it was like, okay, you can come with me. We're going to go grocery shopping. So like it was literally just, which is fine. We're both people who like to accomplish things. So like it was nice to like have a set itinerary of like, we're going to get groceries and then grab a bite to eat. Anyways, this particular date, we had 2 objectives and we accomplished them. And I was so happy. So we got to go out to eat. And then we have been meaning to buy new towels since Valentine's Day. Like every Valentine's Day we try to pick, like one year we bought ourselves pillows, like just something that like we mutually, like it's not super fancy, but like we both enjoy, like that sort of thing, and get
something
use out
practical but feels luxurious.
Yeah. So our poor towels that we've had since we got married, we've been using them for 12 years because we didn't use them till we moved to our new house. We had saved them for that. And they're getting very sad and threadbare. So we bought new towels, and it was fun to get to like do something kind of adulty and like pick out a new color. And I don't know, it's just fun. We got to touch a bunch of textures, which is always like a win for me. I don't know. I know. And then we looked at a new toilet because married and kids and
Yep.
you know, if your date doesn't include Home Depot or Lowe's,
I was just gonna
are
say,
you even a
Garrett and I do this a
homeowner?
lot.
Yeah. Yes.
Just walk through and like, I like that faucet.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a new toilet from whatever, like
The
good
toilet company
the good
is.
brand is. He could tell you, and it can flush a whole bucket of golf balls. And I didn't know that was the standard, but apparently it's what we need.
I love that
So
fact.
don't mind me, but we're budgeting for a new toilet that can flush a bucket of golf balls. I don't know
Who's gonna test that?
I would like to not test that, but I think it might solve some of our current problems. So.
Probably.
Thank you for listening to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast.
To learn more about my one-on-one packages, join my mailing list and follow me on Instagram at Kayla King Wellness.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Good Enough Wellness Podcast feed wherever you listen to podcasts. You don't want to miss an episode.
Follow us on Instagram at Good Enough Wellness Podcast to learn about upcoming episodes and join our free Patreon to interact with the Good Enough community.
The Good Enough Wellness Podcast, because good enough can be good enough.
Well, that's good enough for me.
Me too.